Ladies and gentlemen, we are beginning our descent into Los Angeles.
Welcome, Mrs. P.L. Travers, to the City of Angels.
It smells like
Jasmine.
chlorine and sweat.
Introducing the creator of our beloved Mary.
Poppins. Never, ever just Mary.
What I love about Pamela Travers is that she is a 10 on the sassitude scale.
Totally.
Then I learned your perm was real.
Yeah.
That was not a wig.
No.
I think we could do an entire 4 minutes about your perm.
We so could. Because they said it wasn't a perm. It's not a perm. It's going to be a kink. I was going to look like Annette Bening, who I've always admired and who looks great. And I said, oh, that's okay then. It's not actually going to be a perm, is it? And then they put the curlers in, stuck that stuff on. I thought, that smells like a perm. And then I came out looking like, you know, a farmyard animal. I looked like a baby woolly mammoth.
Someone said, Emma wants to see you at her trailer, and we're around lunchtime. I said, well, I'll come over in 5 minutes, we're breaking. And I said, what is it? She goes, she wants to surprise you. So I knew that we had been having discussions about the hair and everything, but then she put on the dress, had the hair, and here she came out, and I went, that's pretty good.
It's her. Did you immediately address her as Mrs. Travers?
There's, yes, and she fell right into character, bossing me around, so it was all good.
If you held a Mary Poppins tape measure up to Emma Thompson and it revealed her personality, like Mary Poppins does.
Well, yeah.
What would it say?
What would it say? Mercurial. I mean, she's a person that one could never fully understand in the most beautiful of ways.
Oh, I like that. Now, did you have a Mary Poppins type person in your life growing up? It wasn't your parents that influenced you greatly?
Do you know what? This is a stretch, but there was a one-eyed gardener. I just heard an in-breath, and that must have been my sister. So I think I hit some abstract nail on the obscure head. Paddy? Yeah, a little bit, no?
That's incredible.
Paddy Corrigan. Oh. Paddy Corrigan was standing in the kitchen one day when I was about 16 or 17, and he came in, and he looked at me with his one eye, and he went, he had his last eye, and he went, they're eating bats. And I went, what? And he said, eating them, bats, in India. And I went, okay. And he said, the world news, they're eating them. People eat bats. They buy bats and they eat them in India. And years later, when somebody was like, you should get a production company for tax purposes, I said, well, just think of a name. And I thought, Eating Bats Productions. So Paddy Corrigan was kind of magic in his own way.
There was a guy, I've been trying to find this guy. His name is Chip Durham, and he lived across the street, and he was older than my brother and me, and he was a real mentor to us. I loved him.
This gentleman named Javier Jimenez, he's still a really good friend of mine and my family's. He was like the greatest, one of the greatest men in the world, and one of the just like forever. His influence will be on my life because he was just like, and he also taught at the school the elementary school I went to.
I think I was that mentor figure to so many people, but I didn't have time to find one myself.
You were mentoring.
It's my tragic
Kindergarten?
In kindergarten, I was mentoring preschool kids. I'm a giver, you know.
Constable's responsible. Now, how does that sound?
No. Responsible is not a word.
We made it up.
Well, unmake it up.
A woman like Mrs. Travers, who is so proper and who's busy judging others.
Yes.
Wearing an awfully eye-catching lipstick and red-painted toenails.
Orange, yeah. Orange lipstick and red toenails.
Was this on purpose?
Well, she was very self-aware in that sense. She was quite vain. She definitely had pedicures and did all of that. She would have got herself into the most perfect state she could before going to America because that was her sword and shield. She didn't have an entourage. She didn't have a man in her life. She had no one to protect her. She had a very, very good pair of shoes and some orange lipstick. That's all she had. So let's give it to her. Let's hear it for PLT.
Let's hear it for
let's hear it.
Because that actually makes me relate to her that much more.
Yeah, exactly
I, too, have to be armed with my lipstick.
Indeed, don't we all?
I knew I liked you.
Yeah, you knew there was a connection.
I did.
I looked at the hat, I thought, yeah, we should go for drinks.
We should go for drinks. When you're feeling adventurous, I'm in.